All right, so just bring him up. All right, so hey guys, I'd like to welcome my incredible cast up to the stage. First, Pete Davidson, where are you? Griffin Gluck. Colton Baker, Sydney Sweeney, come on, all right. Sydney. Thomas Barbuska. And John Pryor.
Awesome. So before we open up the audience for questions, Jason, you mentioned that the script was written a long time ago. Do you just want to kind of share the story of the origins of this wonderful script?
Sure. Yeah. So this script was really the first feature script I ever written. It was something that I always knew I wanted to tell. It was like, you know, when you get to film school, I'm talking about you, and on the first day they said like, you're here because you have at least one story that you know you really need to tell, and I was pretty sure it was this one, and as soon as I graduated, this is the first, I grew up with older brothers and older friends, and I've always been drawn to this kind of character, and as soon as I kind of honed in on the idea of like the cool older guy, and you know, I would, taking one kid and showing his whole arc from idolizing someone to being their best friend to outgrowing them was something that really excited me, and so that's how this came to be. And yeah, I wrote it about 5 or 6 years ago.
Awesome. Yeah. Cass, you're leaving Jay. He looks so lonely up here. You guys can come
on,
to the stage. Okay, let's open up to the audience. Anyone have any questions? The very back. Yep.
I'm very excited for basic cast as Lex Luthor. Can you tell the audience of like David Quinn's role in Supergirl right now?
I'm sorry, what? This is a Lex Luthor question in Supergirl. Do you have anything to share, John?
Nothing. There's nothing I can contractually share. Sadly. Thank you. My theater training is coming in handy there. Wait a minute, this isn't working. There's nothing I can contractually share. The codes of confidentiality. That being said, I just started shooting a week and a half ago. It's going great. There we go.
It's going great. I'm bald AF. It's all gone, and it's been an incredible pleasure already. There's already a bunch of stuff I'm super excited about people seeing. And thank you for asking about that. But I have to say, this is the first time I've seen this movie, and I fucking loved it. So I'd rather talk about that. You see, the reason I took this role was because, but no, so I'm where you all are now. You know, I just I read this wonderful script and was just hoping that Jason could make the thing that he clearly saw, and I'm just grateful to have been a part of it. So cool.
I mean, I can point, there's two of you right next to each other, so someone decide.
First of all, I just want to say this movie was so clever and well written and enjoyable to watch.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, while you were writing it and filming it, how did you make sure that it turned out inspiring and positive and motivational to young people rather than encouraging them to, you don't want to make necessarily another movie where kids drink and sex and like do all the things, but you did it in a way that it wasn't that, so how did you do that?
The question is about the positive message.
The very positive message of this film. Yeah, no, honestly, I just wanted to make sure that I was being like authentic to kids and honest more than anything else, which is why it was really important to me that we cast actual awesome teenagers in those roles, so that, you know, they could bring their own life experiences to this. So that was like the main drive of this, was to make sure that we were being honest. And yeah, as far as the positive message goes, I think this is why I really fought for the ending of this movie, which is that he kind of, it doesn't really work out. You know, it was really important to me that he doesn't get the girl at the end. Neither of them do, and and he realized that this isn't the path he wants to be on. So I hope that is a positive, while sad message, because he loved their friendship. You know, he learns, we learn, kids will learn. Hopefully. Yeah, thank you. All right.
We have a balcony question. Oh, all the way up there.
Not really a question, but Pete, I know you've been going through a lot, man. Thanks for coming, and I hope everything's going okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Very nice of you. I will now go back to staring at the floor.
I have a question. Hey, for Pete, how'd you become a producer on the project?
Jason just hit me up. He was like, he's very cool, and the reason why I think it works so much is he's like, we could do this together. And we brought Coulson in, and Jordan, who was great in the film. So it was like, I got a little producer credit.
It was. I'll add to that real quick.
Yeah.
It was very clear from the beginning that Pete, from our first meeting, that Pete was going to be a bigger role in this project than just acting in it. He brought so much to the character that was not in the script. Honestly, I had imagined my Zeke's growing up, and we talked a lot about who those kids were for him growing up in Staten Island, who they were for me growing up in the Midwest, in the suburbs. And honestly, what we realized was this kind of experience was universal to both of us, even though it looked differently to both of us. And so he played it the way that was authentic to him. And that comes down to clothing, the car, the apartment. That really, Pete very much created Zeke, and he helped round out the cast with people that he had great chemistry with, and he knew that he would have great chemistry with. So yeah, it was clear from the start that he was going to be a producer.
Thanks.
This question's for Pete. Do you think Zeke ever made a podcast or wrote that script?
I don't know what that dude's doing. He's still sitting on the floor in the parking lot.
Okay. Right here.
Now, the question for Griffin and Pete, your relationship, before the film, have you all worked together before? What was it like preparing for this movie?
The question was for Griffin and Pete about preparing and kind of getting the chemistry.
Take it, Griff. I don't think we really prepared. I mean, I met you at the table read, and we kind of instantly clicked, and then we did lots of shenanigans, and you brought me on weird adventures, and
it was cool because he was about to turn 18, and it was the state we were in. I checked. All the stuff we did was totally cool. I asked his mom. I asked his mom. His mom's out there. Katie's out there. Right? Yeah. They took very good care of your boy. So did Coulson. We took very good care of him. I know it looks like we didn't, because we didn't. But he's here, okay? So yes.
The movie very much came to life on set in a way you can only imagine. And the truth is that when you're making a small independent movie, you don't have any time to really rehearse. And so you just pray that your actors are going to show up and have the kind of chemistry that they need to have, and that was very much the case here. We had the first table read, and these two guys sat down, and it was Mo and Zeke, and I didn't even need to do it. One of my producers pulled me aside and said, "Dude, the rest of the movie, just stay out of its way. Just let them do that." And that's what I tried to do, was let them play and be themselves and have the great relationship that they really develop in real life.
Yeah, he's the coolest 18-year-old ever in real life. He's a very cool kid, that guy. That kid.
Yeah. I saw you in American Vandal, which was a show I really enjoyed, on Netflix.
And all those it kids are fucking cocky as fuck, so we were like, fuck them. Look at there and say it's wild, okay?
You know, it's funny, when I met him and he auditioned, I was worried he was too cool. I was worried, like, this character's more of an outsider, he's awkward. That's not Griffin. Griffin has, like, so much swagger. But I'm being honest. And as soon as, but he was such a good actor that I said, all right, well, just, maybe that's who Mo is. But the truth is that he
I
brought...
like how you were like, I was looking at him. It's a beautiful voice. Just picturing you looking at pictures of him.
I was in a room.
Well, I think I could get the word.
Anyway, he ended up being able to play that innocent, naive character very well, and I was relieved. This is going to be a Pete stand-up show in about 5 seconds.
What? What happened? 1 to 5? Oh, no, please, no. That's never worked.
Who else has a question?
Balcony? Sure.
Question for Mo. So, Mo, when you grow up, become highly successful, start your own company, are you going to hire Pete to come work with you?
I mean, yeah, I don't think he will work for me. I mean, I think he's above that.
You talk about the character.
He's talking about the character.
Like, I know, because that makes, because I know it was a bad answer, but that's a weird question. So, like, it's not us. Like, give us good, like, in this weird world that doesn't exist, that you don't really care about, because you did it 6 months ago, which you fucking know. Any non-dumb questions? I'm tripping balls. I want to get out of here. I'm just kidding.
We have 2 more questions.
I'm kidding, I'll say all that.
Yes.
A lot of messages in there for teens in general, but I definitely paid attention to the ways in which the guys in the movie were talking about the girls and interacting with the girls. And so I want to know, is there a message there that you think teenage girls can take away from this and what we're trying to do with that?
I think, first of all, great question. I think, it is. I think that I'm not a man, so I don't know what happens exactly, but I think that if there's reality to the way guys are talking to each other, why wouldn't, as a teenage girl, you want to be privy to how you're being spoken about in private? Right?
Yeah.
I'm staying the fuck away from this question. You can call me. Where's that Mo guy? That's that guy back. That question, I take it back, sir. Your question rule. Fucking scaring the shit out of all the guys up here. Freaking us out. Yes, we have respect for women, okay? Yeah. Jesus. There you go.
Sydney?
I'm scared to talk now.
The jacket.
I think it's important for girls to be aware of what's being said about them and what kind of men they're with and who they're around. Yeah, so no Zeke.
Oh yeah, I thought that was obvious. Yeah.
One more question right here.
I thought this had a very kind of modern day John Hughes sort of feel to it, which is really cool. I kind of wanted to find out if you have a lot of that influence into it, and also maybe how John feels about that being from that kind of world.
Yeah, well,
The question is about the influences.
yeah, something I said a lot was John Hughes, like, behind a cloud of weed smoke. Like, dirtier, and, so, but yes, those are movies that I grew up loving. Like, there's a lot of Ferris Bueller in Zeke, and there's a lot of Risky Business in this movie. Like, those are the movies I grew up loving, and that's why having John in this film was so exciting and awesome. And there's a lot of, like, allusions to those movies, like the museums and the shower scenes and the high school movies that I loved. So. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the things that I loved about John Hughes' writing was he let teenagers speak for themselves, you know, and often they were, in John Hughes movies, way more articulate than, they articulated it almost clearer than, it was what you were thinking as a teenager, but not necessarily what was coming out of your mouth. And I thought what Jason really nailed was what was coming out of your mouth. At least coming out of my mouth at the time. You know, I think he just, John Hughes he almost worshipped teenagers. He really, that time in your life and how things changed for you over that time was something that was incredibly important to him. And of course, later in his career, he worshipped how 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds took care of themselves alone when they're in their house and burglars are attacking. But at his best, John Hughes really got teenagers, and I thought Jason did an amazing job, and I'm happy to be a part of it.